Next up on my agenda here, oh, this is a new video. Hi, it's Shanna. I recorded like 3 videos today, so I'm doing great, but the next thing I want to work on is what is this, 12 by 16? So I have this sheet of 12 by 16 arches, and it actually is a little dirty. So it's like not so precious, but the edges are a bit dirty, and really I could probably just like trim the edges off, but I'm just going to use this whole sheet of paper and paint more circles. I may actually tape the edges because I think I want that look of like a circle on the edge. Yeah, like a half or a partial circle. Yes. And I might just actually tape this down to my table. I have a board big enough to handle this, but it's got paint all over it, so it's going to look a little crazy in the video if I use that, and I'd rather it have this like sort of nice dark background. I think it'll look better for anyone who's watching. If anyone is watching, which if they are, then great, hello. If not, then I guess I'm just talking to myself. Ultimately, I'm really just talking to myself, which is very strange, but kind of works. Okay, it's been a while since I made YouTube videos. You can see that I do have a subscriber count of like, I don't even know what it is, 1,500, but that is from the olden days, back before I had kids. I had a channel about honestly, I don't even really want to say the details because it's just not a part of my life anymore, what I was doing back then, but it had to do with the way I was eating, but I kind of had some vlogs and stuff in there, and it was pretty fun, but I took all of that down because it just doesn't, it's just not me anymore. So anyway, that's like a long story and not one that I'm going to talk about on here. So now my channel is about painting. So if you're from my old subscribers, cool. If not, even cooler. If you're from my old subscribers and you're staying subscribed, then that's pretty darn cool too. Maybe you just liked me and you're like, okay, I'll still stay subscribed to this goofy girl. Okay, so I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna go big and use the arches. It's not precious, it's just paper. I'm just going in and doing things here. I don't have a plan per se. Well, my plan should not be to spray. You probably can't really see, but I just like, the paint just kind of went places. Okay. And I haven't done this on this paper, so that's kind of fun. I want to get this more wet so that I can, yeah, I totally smeared that, but that's okay. I'll just do another circle right there. I'm again looking at this color palette that I'm sort of like obsessed with at the moment. I'm really enjoying this color palette. And I'm using my Art Nouveau Kuretake paints because they are just awesome. And really, the thing I love about them is that you have this beautiful color palette already selected for you. And they're just such unique colors. You know what might be fun? Let's try this. I'm gonna get like just my paintbrush clean and dry. I mean, oh my gosh, not dry. Clean and go in with just the water and make a circle and let this other paint bleed into it. I think that's gonna look pretty awesome. Oh yeah. All right, so anyway, this is like kind of my color palette that I'm going with. I have it sitting up here on my easel that I never use, it's like a wooden tabletop easel. Oh, what color is calling to me? I'm gonna go with this light green. It's so pretty. Arches paper is very thirsty, so you need like a lot of water. Probably the brush I'm using is a little too small. I don't know if I want to go bigger though. Probably I should. You know, I think the next size up from what I have here, I have a 14. Oh, this is a 12. All right, I'll try it. Because this 12 is just not enough. It's not holding enough water and paint for what I'm trying to do. Just do it. I don't know why it's like, see how it sort of dry brushes when you're doing these bigger circles? I mean, I can go back and fix that, but oh my gosh, the way that is bleeding. Look at that. So I'm not touching that. Like, I'm leaving that. That is amazing. Oh my gosh, this paper. I mean, I work mostly in my sketchbooks, and probably the nicest paper I have in a sketchbook right now is the B paper, which has some limitations. I actually really like B paper, and it is the cotton, 100% cotton, 140-pound paper, but yeah, it has limitations. So working on this arches is like a real treat. Okay, I'm gonna grab this like sort of buff titanium color. I don't know what they actually call it in the set, because well, you can see it's all in Japanese. I think the English is somewhere. I don't know. Maybe it's, oh, here it is on the inside of the lid. It's called flax beige, but I'm here to tell you that is buff titanium. So the less I do to this, I think the better, in a way, when it starts bleeding, because oh my gosh, this is like, I cannot believe the way this paint is bleeding compared to my other papers that I've been doing this on. It's really, truly incredible. Okay, I want to do like a really big circle. I'm going to go with this light blue. Really big, really, really big. Like this circle's drying really fast, because if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll hear me say, I live in the desert. Everything dries so fast. Oh, I love this already. This is exciting. Okay, I'm gonna go to a smaller brush to make some smaller circles. Let's go down to the 10. I'm telling you, these Neptunes, Princeton Neptune brushes, are my all-time favorite. They're the super economical brushes, and for the way I paint, at least, they are truly fabulous. I'm trying to think what I want to do next. Let's go with some pink. I want to make a smaller circle, because I want my composition to be varied with these circles. So I'm thinking about the size of them, the placement, and the value. So like, probably I have this really dark value here. I'll probably do another dark maybe over here. I don't know. And you know what? If I don't like my first layer, like if for some reason the composition, I kind of wish I had gone bigger with that one. So maybe I need like a bigger one here and then like a, okay, I think I have a plan. Sometimes I just have to take a deep breath when I start like one of my little circles. So a lot of time you can't really see completely, but I'm dipping into my water just to grab water. After I put that sort of first brush stroke down of the circle. These paints are quite staining, so you have to watch because that first brush stroke, sometimes it's a bit staining because then when you go and like I'm making the circle bigger and I'm dealing with that line, that edge from my first brush stroke. So these watercolor paints are a little more staining, and that's more of a challenge with 100% cotton paper than wood pulp paper. Wood pulp paper with a more staining paint tends to you can blend it easier. The beauty of the cotton paper is like that little edgy bleed that I wasn't really liking how that looked. I can go in and smooth it out, and it's not lifting the paint like wood pulp paper. It would just lift all the paint, so it's hard to get a better blend. So that cotton paper is like amazing for that. Now, I love this circle that I did with just the water. That is pretty fabulous. So I'm going to do another one up here. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And then when it dries, it looks so magical. I should probably also say that I'm not attached to the outcome of this paper. I'm not trying to sell this. I'm just doing this for fun. I'm just doing this to be happy and enjoy myself. And I'm sharing it on YouTube. I feel like I'm gonna do like a really big one right here. I'm just trying to decide what color to use. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with this pink. And you know what I'm gonna do first? I'm gonna put a lot of water down so that when I go in with the paint, it's not gonna create those lines like I was talking about, like because of the staining nature of these paints, I'm going to sort of prep this area, and I'll modify the shape of the circle as needed. I'm not trying to make it perfect. See how those paints travel when you put them down? It's pretty cool. Oh yeah, it's gonna go right into that green. That is gonna be gorgeous. I'm not sure if it's what it's gonna do with this vermilion here, but it's going into it a little bit. I'm kind of like thinking I'm just gonna leave this alone, this pink one. I just like I like it. I like it. Oh yeah, this is exciting. I really like how this is going, where this is going. This, just keep an eye on that. I bet you anything, it's gonna get more gorgeous as time goes on because it takes a while sometimes to fully travel, which is why leaving it alone is such a beautiful thing. If you can temper yourself to leave it alone. Oh man, I am just loving this so much. I'm going to, I'm gonna go back in with this blue down here with a smaller circle and let that pink bleed into it. Just gorgeous. Making me want to only paint on 100% cotton every day of my life. It's so different. If you've never done it, you must. It's so worth it. And I know it's so easy to be precious about paper, believe me, because I am guilty of that. But if you think about, say, a pad of arches, 9 by 12, say it costs $20. I think it's around that. There's what? Well, let's just change that. A pad of arches, 10 by 14. I think this is maybe about $25. I don't know exactly, but there's 12 sheets of paper in here. That's like $2 a sheet. If you can spend $2 and use the darn paper and have fun and possibly make something that ultimately you consider to be beautiful, but even if it's not, try to think about it more in terms of like the process of painting it and how enjoyable it can be to watch colors bleed together and just feel satisfied in the moment with that. My other hobby is jigsaw puzzles, and yes, I'm a complete nerd. There's that. But you know what's funny about puzzles for me? I can sit and work on a puzzle and I enjoy every minute of what I'm doing. But as soon as I'm done with that puzzle, I take it apart and put it right back in the box. It's done. It's like I can just let go. It is a lot harder to do that with painting. However, all right, bear with me. I'm going to try something. I don't know what's going to happen, but this is experimentation. I'm going to go over this blue with the metallic. And this is really wet with this green, so it's going to bleed in. So let's see what happens. I'm going to get this wet. Oh, maybe I won't do the metallic because I just accidentally hit that. And okay. I'm going to finish my thought, by the way, if I can remember what I was saying. Yeah. Hello, brain. Where are you? Because I know I was actually making a real point there about the paper, the process, the puzzles. Yes, it's much harder to, for some reason, and I don't know if anyone else can relate, but for me, painting is not the same. I don't have the same like blissful experience with painting, although that is my goal. That is where I'm trying to get. I am much closer than I used to be. That's, you know, taken me 3.5 years to get to that point, but yeah, that's my goal. I want to just enjoy the process and be able to say, like, if this is my puzzle and I'm painting it and I'm having so much fun, then can I just let it go after? Can I just let go of that outcome? Much easier said than done, I'm pretty sure. I'm not the only one. So that is part of my goal for making these videos too, is like letting go of the outcome. I didn't have a plan for this paper. I just started painting. I'm sharing that on YouTube. What if it turns out terrible? You know, should I just not post it? No, I don't think I don't think that's the case. I think that I want my audience to feel comfortable with their own growth. So therefore, I have to be able to show myself growing and making mistakes and making something ugly. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Now, Arches paper is, like I said before, very thirsty. So it's going to take a little time to dry. I may hit it with the hairdryer, but I'll turn the video off while this dries, and then I'll come back and do my other fun stuff to it. I ended up adding a couple more circles to balance things out a little bit more. And I think there's parts of this, yeah, that are still wet. I thought I dried it all the way, but I think I can start working on my next phase here without drying it 100%. Okay. I'm thinking about maybe going over a couple of these with metallic colors, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm getting out my Neocolors and my colored pencils. I actually don't like the fact that I taped this to the table, but it's working for the video, I think. I just realized it's like stuck there. Anyway, okay. This green, I guess I have this Luminance dark sap green is kind of close to that. I'm not trying to exactly match it, but I kind of want it to be similar. So if you've been following along the last couple videos, this is kind of what I've been doing lately. I'm just redoing the same thing. And eventually, I will move on to something else, but right now this is kind of floating my boat, so that's what I'm doing. It's really no more complicated than that. Sometimes I just have to take a deep breath and look at it for a minute and see what is calling me to do next. Yeah, there's parts of this paper that are still pretty wet, and like if you go over the colored, or if you go over the paint with the colored pencil where it's still wet, it just doesn't write properly. So note to self, actually maybe dry the whole thing next time. Okay, I'm just putting some of these pencils away. I have to go soon to get my kids. I think this is dry. Oh no, I can't do my writing because it's taped to the, I better do that last. I'll take the tape off, maybe do my writing at the end. Okay, it's time to look at, I want to splatter some gold on this. I'll be back, I'm gonna fully dry this. Now I'm ready to, you know what's happening right now? I'm being precious because this is a huge piece of paper. It's not in my sketchbook. I'm not really sure what I want to do next. That's what I'm dealing with in my own head. So I'm going to just do something. Let's try making some lines in these circles. I love adding line work to my certain types of paintings, not so much these. I haven't really done it, but let's go outside the lines a little bit, add some like lines in the background that kind of just make it, give it a little more life instead of just a stark white background. I don't know if it's gonna work out, but you might not even be able to see them very well on the video, but it's something that would just add a little bit of interest in person more so. Okay. I guess I can make this work even though it's taped. Normally I'll like move the paper around to do my writing because it's kind of hard to write all crooked, but because it's illegible anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's my little secret when I'm writing. You could write something that you can actually read, but that's not how I do my thing. So metallics are necessary. The thing I don't want to do is cover up any of the like extremely gorgeous paint bleeds, like this one. I am not touching those because they are just so fabulous. I do not want to mess with them. What I do want to do is grab my champagne gold, which is right here. Just FYI, this palette, this is my like hardcore watercolor palette that I normally use. I'm just in a phase with the Art Nouveau set right now, but it is a random assortment, except for most of these paints are the Mission Magello paints. Not all of them, because I took some of them out and put different ones in, but those paints are really good as a set of paints, like for a beginner. I would probably not buy a set of paints again, ever. I would just add colors as I need them. But for a beginner set, I really like those paints, and I will probably replace certain colors when I run out of them. But with that said, I'm really a huge fan of Daniel Smith paints. I really like so many brands, and then it's just a matter of certain colors that I've randomly discovered that I love. So it's just, you know, ultimately, I think that anyone can paint with whatever they have. And there's really no need to spend $1 million and get all the paints and all the brands and all the things. I think that's absolutely unnecessary, and I don't want to encourage that at all. But over time, I will reveal to you some of my just incredibly favorite colors. So don't worry. I can get excited about art supplies. I think that leaning towards a minimalistic approach when you're not even just starting out, but when you are continuing to paint and get excited about all the things, as I am 100% as guilty of as the next person, but I think I've spent a lot of money that I probably didn't need to spend, because I had everything that I needed, but I just would feel like I needed more, and I'm getting out of that because it's not sustainable. Like, you end up with so much stuff that you can't make decisions. It's harder to make decisions, and yeah. I think that's the end of that train of thought. Okay, so I did metallic, metallic, metallic. I really kind of want to do it over this blue. I think I'm going to try that. I'm going to go with this big brush. Grab this, like, which blue do I want? I think this is more of a green, but maybe I'll mix it a little with this blue. Here goes nothing. I'm just getting a lot of water. I don't want to overwork this. I'm trying to do it fast without too many brush strokes, but make sure I cover everything. Okay, that's okay. Until those metallics dry, it's hard to appreciate them for what they will actually do to this painting, and it'll be much more easier to appreciate in person, but I can show you, when it's dry, I'll show you in the light and kind of, hopefully you'll be able to see it. We're not done. We are not done. I can tell that. It's definitely needs a lot more. something. I will splatter it, so I can definitely say I'm going to do that. I'm wondering if, it's hard because sometimes like the first layers are so gorgeous that I don't want to really go over anything that's pretty. But that's where the pencils come in, because they can add more dimension without having to use more paint and cover up awesome watercolor things. So I have this circle thing that I use a lot, and I wish it was bigger now, because I would like to do, maybe I'll just use the biggest circle on here and add a couple of these gel pen circles and maybe like overlap them. So I'm doing a circle and then I'm just gonna like go back and forth, basically scribbling. I would like to do this bigger, but it's gonna be difficult to achieve that effect without a cutout where you can hit the edges of it. Oh, you know how I can do it? I'm so smart. I have my tape, my little tape rolls. Okay, so I can totally make this work. That is still wet. Okay, I'm gonna dry, be right back. Okay, this is definitely a reasonable amount bigger than the biggest circle. I think it's maybe the biggest one I have. Well, okay. Going for it. Uh-oh, that blue was not dry. Oh no, the blue wasn't dry. It's okay, it's okay. So, you know what else it needs? I like doing these on the edges. This tape is no longer sticking to my paper. I like this. I like how it's giving it a little more dimension. I really want to do a really big one, but I'm not sure how to accomplish that. All right, I'm gonna do some gold splatter. I'm just going to avoid that blue circle that's still kind of wet. I'm wondering if no. Okay, let's take the paint off. Oh my gosh, the paint. Let's take the paint off. let's take the tape off. I sort of still have this feeling that there's not enough here. Like I want something else. I was thinking before, like if I added an overlapping circle in a dark value, like a Prussian blue, that is a lot of tape to go right in the trash can. Sorry, tape. Okay, let me show you the metallics. See, they just sort of shimmer and shine a little. It's nice. The blue is very subtle. I feel like I have to go through with my idea here, even though I don't know if it's, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what color this is. It's like a dark, sort of Prussian blue, but it's one of, it's a Daniel Smith, like kind of specialty color, but right now I can't remember what it is. So it doesn't really matter. I could just as easily use like the Prussian blue from the Mission set. That's what's in here. And mix it with the indigo, which is right here. So I don't really care. It's just dark blue, essentially. And I'm gonna put it on pretty thick so it's not, like this Daniel Smith color probably has some like granulating effects, but it probably won't show up in this case because, okay, I'm gonna be brave and I'm just gonna do it. Because I'm putting it on pretty thickly. I think this is good. Holding that and doing this, not working for me. I want it to be bigger. Don't worry, I'm gonna add more. If it was just one, it might look a little wacky. And if I hadn't taken the tape off, I would probably do one like on an edge. I don't know if I really want to do that now, but maybe I will. Maybe I will. It's just gonna be harder because I don't have my tape on. Okay, knucklehead, that blue is not dry, but whatever. I might have to go back and fix that line. It's not as crisp as I perhaps would like. Okay. I feel like that circle shape is a little wacky, but whatever. Okay. I know it needs one more. I know where it's gonna go. That one's a little more opaque, or transparent, which I think I'm okay with. I think I'll leave it like that. So I have some, oh wow. Somehow like the line here of the pink circle, like the edges of these circles are like kind of, you see what I mean? I don't know how to explain it, but I really like what's happening there. I guess it's just the paint like interacting with the other paint underneath of it. It's pretty cool. I didn't really expect that. I'm not sure that this composition is like perfect, but I'm okay with that. And I think I'm gonna try adding some pencil lines. Not there, because that blue is still wet. Let's try it here. Just regular pencil. Oh gosh, I keep forgetting. Let's see if this is dry enough for this to, good enough. Works for me. I'm thinking that I'm going to stop here. The splatter is really gorgeous. The metallics are really gorgeous. Is this like my ultimate masterpiece painting? No, maybe probably not, but I like it. I signed it, and I could definitely see myself continuing with this theme and playing a little bit more. When I started doing my circles, I wasn't even doing any like overlapping ones, and now I'm starting to add like some overlapping, so that's kind of cool to explore. And I think that the point here is taking a simple concept like circles and seeing what you can do with them, and playing with composition and stylistic elements like, you know, the lines and the writing and such. Actually, I'll probably add some writing to these dark circles. Okay, yeah, that I need to do. But taking something that's kind of low stakes, like circles, instead of, say, like a portrait, where it's like, I don't know, this is just so basic, you know, the circles are basic. And the idea is that you can play with a basic shape and make it into your own, and do things, experiment and try things. And it's like not such a big deal if it doesn't turn out perfect, because that is not the goal. And I think I've said enough about that, right? I feel like maybe this painting could go in different orientations too. But there it is. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time.